welcome back to New England Living. Up next, Chef Joanne Chang shows off her latest recipe for her world-famous sticky buns. A Harvard graduate who left a career as a management consultant to enter the world of professional cooking, Joanne Chang's resume is as long as the lines to get into her bakeries. She's authored 5 cookbooks, opened multiple flour bakeries, co-founded Myers & Chang, and won a James Beard Award for Outstanding Baker. With a passion for her craft and a hunger for creativity, it's no wonder Joanne Chang has taken the baking world by storm. We are here at the Clark Sub-Zero and Wolf Test Kitchen, and I am joined by Joanne Chang. We are so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
So Joanne, you're the co-owner of Flour, and I don't know where you find the time, but you're now on your 9th location this year.
We are so excited, can't wait.
So we can pretty much find Flour Bakery all over Boston.
We're trying to fill Boston with all the flours we can.
And we thank you for that. What are we making here today?
So today we're making something out of my new book, Pastry Love. We're very famous for our sticky buns.
Right.
We actually beat Bobby Flay in a throwdown many years ago, and so what I did was I took a New England version of the sticky bun, and I actually make a New England apple cider sticky bun with apple cider and local apples.
This sounds delicious. And does it matter what kind of apple or just any apple?
No, we like to use a local apple, so if you go apple picking, then definitely use those apples for this sticky bun.
Okay, so you beat Bobby Flay doing this. I need to know how this is done, so
Fabulous.
where do we start?
So we start off with making the goo. The goo is the secret sauce of the sticky bun. It's what makes it really gooey and delicious. And then for this New England version, we actually make the goo with apple cider. So we start off with butter and brown sugar, and then we take apple cider that's been macerated with a lot of different spices, and we actually take the apples themselves and macerate them in with the apple cider. And once we've made the goo, we pour it into the baking pan.
I love the name goo, by the way. I don't know why, but it sounds delicious.
It's so
Just
gooey,
goo.
which is why we call it
exactly.
goo.
And then where do we go from there?
So from there, what we do is we make a brioche dough, which is a really rich French buttery dough. And then it sits overnight, and then once it comes out of the fridge, you can actually roll it out. It's sort of like Play-Doh. And you can roll it out, and we roll it out into a rectangle. We take a cinnamon sugar and sprinkle it over the rectangle. Then we take those apples, those local apples that have been macerated with the New England cider, and then we sprinkle that over the brioche. We roll the brioche into like a jelly roll, and then we cut spirals. The spirals of the sticky buns actually go into the goo, and then they sit out for about 2 to 3 hours, and in that time they get really light and fluffy. And when they're light and fluffy, that's when they're ready to go in the oven.
Okay, so while those bake and we have a little bit of time, I do want to find out more about your New England roots because you have such a unique journey. You actually started at Harvard.
I did.
So how did you end up here?
Yeah, I actually grew up in Texas and went to Harvard and studied applied math economics. But when I was in college, I actually baked chocolate chip cookies on a regular basis for my friends to the point where they called me the chocolate chip cookie girl. I loved baking so much, and when I graduated from college, I spent 2 years as a management consultant. And at the end of my second year, I just thought to myself, what do I really love to do? And that is, I love being in the kitchen. So I got a job in a restaurant, and the first day I stepped into a professional kitchen, that's when I knew I was meant to be a chef.
So Harvard on the resume, it's already impressive enough. Then you add 5 cookbooks, then you add 9 flour bakeries. But I think one of the most impressive things about you is you have run 16 Boston marathons. How did you do that?
When I was in college and baking all of those cookies, I needed a way to kind of figure out how to work off the calories. And I had started running, and I fell in love with running. And I ran my first marathon as a senior in college and decided I'm going to run every single Boston marathon until I retire. Of course, 16 marathons later, my body said, maybe now you should stop running marathons. So I did stop in 2006, but I still love cheering on the marathon runners.
Looks like you've been pretty busy since then. So I have heard a lot about these sticky buns. I would love to give them a try.
I can't wait for you to try them. These look fantastic.
So we
Look
are
at them,
done.
yes.
Look at that. I wish you could smell this
Oh my
because it
gosh.
smells so good.
They're so great. Okay, so now the best way to do this without making a huge mess is I just actually take a spoon and I undo them like this.
Look at that goo.
All that goo. And then there's extra goo, and the extra goo we're gonna spread on top as well.
As much goo as possible,
right?
please. And because there are apples in here, it does feel a little healthier somehow.
Sure,
We're
Rachel.
gonna tell ourselves that. This looks
You're right.
phenomenal.
Okay. Okay, you want to give me a plate and I'll give you some. And I'm excited for you to try those.
Okay,
Go
is
ahead
there
and dig
a neat way to do this? Maybe with a fork?
Yeah, I
We're
think
gonna
maybe
do our
a
best.
fork. Sure. So hopefully you can taste the cider and the apples.
Whoa,
So delicious.
that is so good.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm so
Oh
glad
my
you enjoyed
goodness.
them.
This is incredible. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. You can find this recipe in Pastry Love. And you can find out more about Joanne and what she's up to next on cbsboston.com/New England Living. Thank you so much. This is
Thank you.
phenomenal.
I'm
gonna
so
have some
glad you
more.
love it. Excellent.